Welcome back to the channel. As you may have guessed, today I'll be serving up a fresh verdict on whether or not Dead by Daylight should be put in the bin or be put back into your library of downloaded games. I'll be playing 20 games as the survivor on an almost brand new account to get the full experience of this game. After each game, I'll be noting down 4 things. What map and killer I got? Was the match fun? Were there any DCs or any toxic behavior? And lastly, did I escape? So without further ado, let's get into it. The short way of describing Dead by Daylight for people who don't know what it is by saying that it's a 1v4 asymmetrical horror game. It plays out by having one player play as the role of the killer. They have to put the other 4 survivors on sacrificial hooks 3 times by any means necessary. On the 3rd hook, the survivor will die, bringing the killer one step closer to victory. The 4 other players play as a role called the survivor. Their goal is to repair 5 generators and escape the map. They can either escape through the exit gates or by jumping through the hatch that spawns in the endgame once everyone else has escaped or died. My first experience with this game began on the 25th of May 2021, where my friend John, who had been playing this game for months already, invited our friend group to try it out. After what was a very rocky beginning, I quickly became addicted. The game was unlike anything I'd ever played before, and the adrenaline rush that came during each and every match kept me returning every single week for a year straight. After a year of playing Dead by Daylight though, something really started to feel off about the game. The once adrenaline pumping task of repairing a generator had long ago turned into a boring task of just sitting there holding M1. The game was becoming more and more toxic with each week, and with every play session, me and John found ourselves getting more angry with the game. We'd even started disconnecting from matches if the game wasn't to our liking. Old RPD. Nurse. It was at this point we agreed that it was time to put the game down, and so we did for almost 8 months at this point. However, recently we keep on mentioning it to each other saying, oh, should we go back to the game? You know, should we? I dare you, should we get back on the game? And you know, soon enough I found myself wanting to make this video that you're watching now. After 8 months, I wanted to see if the things that made me so angry at this game were still a factor. Was it still so toxic? Did people DC all the time? Were the maps and killers always the same every single match? And was the game even still fun to play anymore? Well, I guess there's only one way to find out really. So I challenged myself to play 20 games of this. Here's what I found out. In my 20 games, I played against an artist, 3 bubbas, a Freddy, 2 blights, 2 pigs, 2 skull merchants, 3 huntresses, 2 nurses, a Sadiko, the ring girl, a ghost face, a trapper, and a trickster. Out of my 20 games, only 4 people disconnected. 2 of them were actually just the killer. I managed to escape 9 times and died 11. The maps that I played on were Larry's, Dead Dog, RPD, the Garden of Joy, Area of Crows, Coldwind Farm, Midwich, the Macmillan Estate, the Backwater Swamp, Springwood, Shelter Woods, Auto Heaven Wreckers, and the Krotos Pren Asylum. One stat that I found interesting was what I described as, did I have fun? Out of the 20 games, only 9 of them I would classify as to have had fun. This was to do with either the killer playing super toxic by tunneling, slugging, or face camping a player on the hook, or if I spent the entire game doing a gen and never saw the killer once. But the things that made the experience fun were what I always enjoyed doing previously when I played this game. Things like flashlight saves, having super fun long chases, and attempting random text that I saw on YouTube. This experience of coming back to DBD was quite the surprise because I was dreading having to sit through 20 games of toxic killers, bad teammates, but I was actually pleasantly surprised to find the majority of the games, the killers were fair and fun to play against. This was something that I had very rarely seen from Dead by Daylight when I used to play it 8 months ago, so it was so refreshing to see when coming back. In the last year alone, behavior has added a lot of changes to Dead by Daylight. So coming back to this game after only 8 months was strange. Half the perks had been redone, items like the flashlight worked and sounded different, and they even made changes to the maps. Like, take a look at this. This was the map Temple of Purgation before I left, and here is what it looks like now. Apparently all behavior things they have to do to make a map better is add a metric crap ton of trees to it, and that'll somehow cover up how bland and uninteresting the map is. In the last year alone, along with all these changes, Behavior has also brought us 5 new DLCs, or chapters as they call it, those chapters being the Sadako Rising, Roots of Dread, another Resident Evil chapter, Project W, Fortitude in the Fog, and only recently they've just dropped the Tools of Torment chapter into the game. I love how they keep implementing new characters and killers into this game. It keeps it fresh and makes nearly every game special as you go against a massive range of killers. The only flaw with this is that people either A, don't buy that DLC, or B, they don't enjoy the killer from the chapter that's just released. So you end up playing 5 games in a row facing against a Bubba, Blight, or Huntress. One thing me and John found annoying in the past was whenever we played the game, it felt like we were playing on the same maps over and over again. But recently, it seems that Behavior has added a map prevention feature which collects all 5 players' previous game data and makes sure that no one is getting the same map twice. I wanted to test this, so during my 20 games that I played, I kept track of what maps I was getting into. And sure enough, the only map that I got into more than twice were Larry's and the Temple of Purgation. Players can bring in these things called map offerings into the game, which gives everyone a chance to be sent to a specific realm which the player can pick. These were handy because for the life of me, I couldn't get the brand new map that just came out with the night chapter. So by using this, I guaranteed myself a shot of actually playing on that map. In DBD, there have also been these annual events, such as a yearly anniversary, Chinese New Year, and Christmas, and as of me recording this video right now, there is a Meet Your Maker event advertising Behavior's brand new game, which players can go into and have a chance at finding this strange ritual thing to interact with, and it collects some pretty cool charms that you can get at the end of the game. Good luck surviving though, because knowing how this game plays, the second the killer sees you walking around dressed up with your sparkly sparkles, they're gonna track you down and eat you for dinner. The solo experience on this game is still rather grim, as you're left trying to read your teammate's mind as to what they're doing during the match. How is it that we're in 2023 and there isn't a proper communication method in this game other than pointing and waving? I live in New Zealand, which pretty much has a population of what feels like 10 people, because no matter what game I play by myself, I struggle to find even a single match, whether that's Apex, COD, Dead by Daylight though? DBD has a large player base, so entering a game takes only a matter of minutes. Gone are the days of trying to take a pee break while the game's about to start. A new feature that's been added to the game recently is that you can now tell what your teammates are doing all game. You can see if they're healing, doing gens, or being taken on a piggyback ride by the killer. The solo queue experience will give you great encouragement to make some friends though, because your teammates are either the most cracked, insane player you'll ever meet, or have brains the size of a peanut.
Why are you the way that you are?
Dead by Daylight has changed a lot in this last year. These new DLC releases, the map changes, and game changes that have been made playing and coming back to this game after 8 months so refreshing and fun. The biggest problem I have with this game right now is at its core, and that is on paper, it's still this exact same game that I played over and over and over again. You still just repair 5 gens, power an exegate, and escape. What I would love to see is either a new game mode or even a slight mix-up on what the survivors do. For example, and this is just coming off the top of my head, maybe it's a Halloween event, so maybe survivors have to, instead of repairing generators, they have to fully carve out 5 pumpkins, or continuously knock on 5 doors till the creepy ghost pops out and gives them a player item. I don't know. Something like this would be so refreshing to see happen, and would be awesome to see in the future. So, what do you guys think about the state of Dead by Daylight in 2023? Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts about the game are. Is it total garbage, or is this game worth people's time and money? I want to hear what you've got to say. So that's going to wrap up for this video. I know I only covered the survivor side of Dead by Daylight, and if you want me to do a video on the killer side of that, I can do that as well. But I really just wanted to get back into my roots of what I used to play in Dead by Daylight, which was survivor pretty much all the time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.